Power Panel 3, the topic for which is EV after-sales service and customer support, challenges and opportunities. And to participate in this discussion, I would like to invite once more Mr. Ketan Girap, Business Director, Key Accounts, Nippon Paints. Mr. Rajesh Mehrotra, National Head After Sales, MG Motor, India. Welcome, sir. Mr. Gurinder Sukhija, SVP and Head Ownership Management, Ather Energy. Mr. Sukhija's core expertise lies in customer support management across geographies and managing in-house and outsourcing partners. This includes vehicle service, ownership products, training and quality, and complete customer support. With over 24 years of experience in diverse industries such as banking, telecom, infrastructure, and transport networks, Mr. Sukhija was working with Ola as a Senior Director and Head for Customer and Partner Support Operations before taking up the current position at Ather. Welcome, sir. Mr. Arindam Lahiri, CEO, ASDC. A passionate professional with a career spanning 3 decades in manufacturing and across all domains of education and training, Mr. Lahiri started his career with Maruti Udyog, received global exposure at Honeywell Inc. USA, and had an entrepreneurial stint as director and co-founder at Career Launcher India. His last assignment was with the education division of HT Media Limited. He also is currently on the advisory board for startups, educational institutions, and policy review committees of state and central government ministries. Mr. Lahiri is an alumnus of IIM Lucknow. Welcome, sir. I would also like to welcome Mr. Anil Chhikara, Deputy Commissioner, Transport Department, Government of NCT of Delhi, on road safety. Mr. Chhikara is a transport reformer and an innovative automotive professional and a mobility regulation expert. An alumnus of the Institute of Engineers, India, Mr. Chhikara has done tremendous work to improve transportation in the NCT region. Welcome, sir. A big round of applause, please. And Mr. Anuj Guglani, founder and CEO, IVASS Group. Over to you, Anuj.
So hello friends, so we are back here for the third panel. So this is the last panel discussion for the day. So let's really make it the most worthwhile, like a boxing match. Let's finish strong. This is the most important topic, the EV after sales, and this is the most important theme, profitability and growth. The moment you say EV after sales, a lot of dealer principals say that means profitability growth are down the drain. You know, I have friends in the US, they have Tesla vehicles. They say, bhai, 3 saal ho gaye gaadi liye, ek baar bhi service karne ki zarurat hi nahi padi. There are people, dekha hai nahi workshop ka chehra. People haven't taken their electric vehicles for service. They say, update apne aap ho jate hain. Apne aap patch update ho jate hain over the air. I was looking at some vehicles, electric cars, their cost of servicing, even in the 5th year, is not more than 5,000, 6,000 rupees, everything included. So if this scenario is there to stay, and we say that vehicle after sales service is the torchbearer of dealer profitability, then how would the dealers make money? Would EVs kind of be sidelined because of this, or there'll be new avenues to make money? There'll be better, like something like how the motor cars came, and people said what would happen to the people who are pulling the horse carriages. And you know, there was this profession of picking up the horse shit from the roadsides and pavements. People asked, what would happen to them? There's so many of them. Their job was to pick up the horse shit from the roadside because it was all horse carriages. But then motor vehicles came and they found better jobs or more respectable jobs. So would that scenario replay? Would history repeat itself? So without wasting a moment, let's talk about EV after sales service and to that customer support. How does the customer support change? You know, range anxiety is not a new thing, and the more EV customers we have, the more such issues need to be addressed. The EV skilling, how would it be different? Making money when the EVs are here, running a workshop or a dealership with the EVs, so the entire game changes. So with that, if we can begin with the pure play EV player that we have on the panel. So Ather Energy, it's a brand to reckon with, making really quality vehicles. In fact, your Ather 450 X had won Best Innovation Award also. We had done the VAF Awards 2018 right in this hall, and it had won. Tarun could not make it, so he had sent a video, we had played that. So, Gurinder, when it comes to pure EV, you know, it's not like in Rajesh's case, you have IC vehicles also coming, and you have EV also. ठीक है, EV से कुछ कम पैसे कमा लो, बाकी से तो कमा ही रहे हो. It's pure play EV. So how do you work on the profitability and growth, the customer support, pure play EV? All yours.
Thanks, Anuj. Look, unlike ICE, right, as in, there's a lot of anxiety in EV, firstly, right? Let's start with the customer support. Right, today I handle the customer support and the vehicle service part, right? As in, and today the calls which we get, right, or the emails which we get, or around 60% of the calls which we get are all anxiety calls, right? It's not about, you know, where can I get the vehicles? You know, what is the timeline? It's about, like you said, what's the range, pricing, specs, safety, all that. And when all this is answered, then the person says, yeah, okay, I'm ready to go and check out what EV is. One thing is for sure that customer, and especially the two-wheeler market, have started acknowledging, you know, the benefit of the EV, right? So if you're thinking about buying a two-wheeler, he will once say, no, I have to see an EV. Forget about Ather. You know, he will definitely go to, you know, us or anybody, right? And try that, right? Now, when he enters the showroom, right, at least I can say for Ather, that's the first thing which he sees is the experience. Now, I don't know how many people have visited the Ather showrooms here or the experience centers, right? We call them experience centers. As in, you actually, when you go, a lot of people have given this feedback, oh, this was a showroom, I thought this was a cafe, right? And,
I agree.
Yeah. And we are treating the customers also like that. We are spending time with them, making them understand the benefits. And in the entire calculation or the TCO, which we call, right, we don't talk about service. We say, okay, this is the benefits, because the moving parts are lesser, right? The time you have to, you know, service the vehicle is lesser. So definitely, you know, you're not coming for service too much as compared to the ICE, you know, and you are not even telling them, okay, 6 months or 2,000 odometer reading, you have to come. You're
nothing like that.
We are not
nothing
saying
sacrosanct.
that. No.
No warranty issues, no nothing. Huh?
5,000 kilometers mein ek bar, if you want to come, you can come, you know, just to give a check. If you have a wear and tear, accidental, off-roading, all that will happen. It's India, right? As in, that definitely we are supporting, right? But there's no mandate that, okay, you have to say that, right? And to the dealers, as in, we are saying you cannot say to the customers, and yes, he can always change the script and say all that. The dealer can do that. But from an OEM perspective, there's no mandate.
But doesn't this disrupt the entire business model of the dealer?
No.
Where does he earn money from then?
Exactly. So today, when the dealer was taking any or doing a partnership with an OEM, he was saying, okay, this is my sales revenue, this is my service revenue. That has to change. he can't look at the sales revenue and service revenue separately now. It's the blended profitability he has to look into, right? And it's not that, okay, he does not make money in that. Yes, maybe the ROI is not, a year, but maybe 3 years, 4 years, but yes. And dealers do understand. And let's understand that, look, dealer is also here to make money, right? Of
course.
And like you said, profit is not a bad word. That's the reason people are doing business. I would be surprised that, people say, no, we are doing for charity. Sorry, that's not true.
That needs profits.
Yeah. And so he knows what is the game. So as I said, if you are actually saying there's no service, petrol prices going up, right? Over a time, actually this vehicle becomes cheaper, right? And if that word of mouth goes in the market, of course, the footfall goes up, the sales goes up.
So you're working on the margins basically.
Absolutely, right? And that's where the whole game has to change. Otherwise, why would today I can say proudly, I have around about 30,000 applications across India for people to become dealers.
For dealers.
Yeah. And small, big, together, right? So they know what they're getting into, right? Because
that's a lot. 30,000 is a lot.
Because it's a revolution anyway, right? At least for the next 4 or 5 years, this industry will just boom, and specifically the two-wheeler industry. Coming back.
So you're trying to say that RIP, service absorption ratio, in short.
Yeah. And
by the way, for everyone's knowledge, service absorption ratio is a term in which we try to ascertain how much losses of the showroom and sales is service department absorbing. So now I think it might be the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay, sales absorption ratio.
Yeah. And from the customer support, after sales, gentlemen from Focus Engineering and all that mentioned about the whole app experience. So Ather has its own app, right? So we are already doing all that connectivity, chatbots, WhatsApp integration with the DMS, telematics. We are all there, right? What we spoke in the morning, right? Telematics, app, CRM, integration, everything. It's a connected vehicle, right? And on the dashboard, we get a lot of data which we use, from how the vehicle is operating. Our new designs are based on the data what we get from the previous thing. So so we entered with a connected vehicle, right? And we've done a lot of research on this, and the research is still going on. And so from an experience perspective, I think we will be the one who will be giving one of the best experiences, because our app adaptability is much higher, right? People are hooked into the app. Of course, it has to go up. And anything to do with vehicle service will be there on the...
Are you also earning through your app in some way? Do you have a revenue stream via app? The
not as of
that
now.
You're offering?
Not as of now, but maybe in the future we monetize that. But not as of now, right? And so everything will be connected. Vehicle service, subscriptions, insurance, everything will be on the app, right? And
so you feel that there is enough to earn from sales and the other affiliate services, and we don't need to depend on service revenue that much.
And I had the ownership products today, right? And so we are not just selling at the sales point. We are selling at the service point. Our subscriptions, our warranties, our something like even our accessories, right? We entered with a TPMS, right? Which is a good thing for a four-wheeler, as in it's been there. But for two-wheeler, people are hearing for the first time, right? As in you don't have to go to the, to a pump to check your air, right? So we're doing all that. So the dealers are getting now, okay, there is a opportunity for me to earn there also. So I think that's where we have to move from giving a typical service,
Fair enough. See, when it comes to customer acquisition, generating customer interest, it's not that difficult. I myself a co-founder at Jaldi EV. It's one of the partners here. At Jaldi EV, we fine-tuned our script for the CRE. My co-founder and I, we spoke ourselves to 50 plus customers. And that's how we fine-tune the script. It's very simple. You ask the customer, sir, which vehicle you drive, they'll say a Honda Activa or a Hero Mehrotra, this or that. Okay, sir. So you sell this vehicle, whatever money you get as used vehicle value, salvage, that becomes your down payment. So how much do you spend, sir, on the petrol every month? Minimum 3,500, 50 kilometers every day. हाँ इतना तो हो ही जाता, ज़्यादा हो जाता है. Fine, sir. So that becomes your EMI for your electric scooter. And so you can run it for the entire month for 28 days, 50 kilometers a day for only 250 rupees. And the customer gets actually a shock, an electric shock kind of a thing. The customer gets excited. Give me the details, send me the WhatsApp on link, this, that, So the customer is there. But the challenge is, are we ready? From the sales standpoint, from the service standpoint, from the skilling standpoint. So if we can switch gears and come to Mr. Lahiri, who is the CEO of ASDC, doing a fantastic job, as I had mentioned earlier too. So sir, when it comes to EV skilling, when it comes to the people at the dealership, it's a new thing. How do you think it is being accepted, embraced? What do you think are the challenges that you're facing, and what do you see as a roadmap next 3 years?
Yeah, good afternoon, and thank you for having me here. I think I'll echo the same sentiment that there is a whole lot of anxiety in the ecosystem. Not only with the customers, anybody who hears about EV, even with the service technicians themselves, if they were to be told something to learn about EV, there's a whole lot of anxiety. Oh, that is a very different thing. We've never been used to it, and so on and so forth. So I think there are two ways that we are trying to address this overall skilling challenge that we have. On one count, we are looking at how do you upskill the knowledge of and the skill of the existing independent aftermarket mechanics on handling electric vehicles, because there are multitude of brands, but basic technology remains the same. So at least the familiarization of the basic technology is very important for that. Second, of course, is how do you penetrate into the academic institutions, which are colleges, training centers, etc., where you build in an electric vehicle perspective in the programs that you do. And therefore, you embed it within that learning community itself. Overall, in general, I think EV per se is not only just about electric vehicle, but I think this whole ecosystem using EV as a pivot is actually moving towards an entire different customer experience of a mobility solution. And therefore, there is a whole lot of different opportunities that are opening up. You gave the example of somebody who was picking up horse shit, but somebody wasn't, let's say, who was cleaning the horses, let's say. He would have moved into cleaning of the vehicles, let's say, in a very simplistic term. So there will be some transitions like that, and there will be some transitions where somebody has to move from a very dirty job. In fact, one of the good things that we have found right from our first program that we initiated in 2020 or late 2019 is that it is able to attract women to come forward and take training as a service technician. Because the perception is that IC engine is a dirty thing to handle, but electric vehicle is a much cleaner thing and more happening thing to be associated with. And therefore probably
Happening.
gender.
I like
yeah,
that.
Happening. Yeah, of course. I mean, anywhere you go, you only are asked about what's happening on electric vehicle, because there's a lot of, as I said, there's a lot of anxiety in the minds of everyone. I'm pretty sure last session of the day today, and you see so many people because you have managed to put the word EV there. So I also see that as a happening thing.
So it is the Bitcoin of the automotive industry.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. So now switching gears. So of course, it's very good that it's attracting a lot of women. We need a lot of women. In fact, when we have to get speakers for our panels, it's really a tough job looking out for the women CXOs. And I think we as an industry need to really do much more in having women at the top positions. We really need to go a long way in that, and really hoping that it happens soon, at least in our lifetime. So switching gears, And coming to Chhikara ji, who has been a proponent of road safety. He's worked in the past with Toyota Motor Corporation as well. He's worked with OEM. He works in the government. He was a motor licensing officer. Now he's a deputy commissioner, Department of Transport. So, sir, you have done so much in road safety, in vehicle fitness, assessments, and you are pioneering so many nice policies of the government. So what is your take on this EV revolution? Plus Delhi government being at the forefront of, promoting EV. The other day, we had an exclusive interview of Kailash Gehlot ji at VAF TV. So the vision that he was sharing, that in the next few years, they're looking at a one EV charger every 3 square kilometer in Delhi. And the way they are really going all out, they are also ready to share the APIs of the apps based on EV and on electric buses if there are entrepreneurs to embrace. So much happening in EV, so much happening in after sales. Where do you see the two worlds meeting?
First of all, I wish to tell you that Delhi is only the state where EV cell separately has been formed. And this consists of the professionals. So this Delhi government and transport department has hired professionals from industries, and they are working like CEO and vice president. So you won't find any designation in government sector, but it is the transport department who is working professionally to synchronize the EV industry, and it will be the landmark. It will create the dimensions. Government regulatory bodies of other states also, that Delhi has made. These are the rules, these are the SOPs, so that other state may follow. So this is a good thing to share you. And secondly, in Delhi, because as far as bus fleet is concerned, so it is touching 1,000 vehicles or so. So people are giving us very good feedback about these buses. But some feedback which is to be endorsed by the manufacturers also, they are like in buses, it is creating little bit high noise. So this is also a concern, because people are now, earlier people may be traveling with the very, high pitch noise. But today at this scenario, these are the swanky in air conditioned buses. But this noise is creating some trouble, so that I request that industry must look into these factors. Although we do have a big noise in e-rickshaws, because e-rickshaws are, these are the jugards. There are no technology behind it. And this, if we compare our EV regime with the e-rickshaw, so it will give a bad name. So, but leave this part. We will work with the good things. And secondly, this from a department side, I request to this audience that transport department don't have any infrastructure how to check these vehicles for their fitness. For fitness, at every year, their commercial vehicles are there, they are supposed to get vehicle tested. But we don't have any infrastructure and SOP. So I look forward that industry may support us, and whatever may be the cost government can bear, or somebody have got some CSR activity or so, it is most welcome. So another thing that is also to be done. And secondly, EV players were facing a challenge that our trade certificate, which is appointing the dealers, it is given to the one particular company. So you will get a good news in next week. It has been proposed, it was just yet to be signed and issued, that multi-branding dealership activity will start first of all from Delhi. Delhi will be the first state which will allow trade certificate for multi-brand dealerships.
I think that's a big step and calls for a round of applause.
And this transport department also look forward. It is other than EV, that fitness center which is there at Najafgarh side. So department wants to lease out lands to the authorized workshops, so that EV vehicles should also come there and establish their own state-of-the-art workshop. Government will provide you land. It will make a hub where all best technology can be available at one location. We have 20,000 square meter space, which would be
Square meter.
yes,
20,000 square
Pa-
meter.
मतलब 6 एकड़ 5 से 6 एकड़ we are in planning to lease out, and you will get the workshop space at very nominal cost. So come with the FADA or SIAM or whatever, even you make your own organization and establish there, you will get plenty of business. And secondly, you will enter into the regime which I&M. I&M means the vehicle which is maintained with this electronic digitally equipments, and you will find every, like your health card, you will get every periodic your testing. So if those tests are available, you will get fitness certificate also. Mr. Pandey is also there. We are working that private vehicles should also get the fitness certification activity. And if these infrastructure hubs are made with the manufacturers and their dealership, definitely we shift to the after sale service to the advanced system, advanced step, which is done uniformly there in the other countries also. So then you will get good revenue and you will get best satisfaction, and the blame which is given to the BS3, BS4 vehicles, anytime, occasionally they are said they are no more to run in Delhi. Why? They are not so bad, but because it is not organized sector, and if our automotive companies and after sales dealers support the customers, nobody can blame that these Euro 4 vehicles are bad. And we people are bearing because government has to show something that we have done something for
Taken
the
a step.
pollution. So this is also I was to share with you. And
Sir, let me issue a statutory warning that this all would be on WAF TV very soon. So
sure. So and Anuj is with us most of the time, and he interact and he represent your feedback to us, and definitely we will work with you and come out with the solutions. But the after sales dealer networking, which is, I don't think it is an organized sector, but it should be organized, and we will these individual workshops, they can also play a big role in government strategy. I look forward for that. Thank you very much.
fantastic. I think that's a great step. So friends, you have the decision makers, you have the government high ranking officials inviting you, encouraging you, so many entrepreneurs, so many OEMs, independent garages. So we cannot complain for the lack of opportunity or lack of earning. If the government is inviting you to join hands and do something in EV, and EV revolution is inevitable. It is not a Delhi-centric or a India-centric. It's across the world. You see everywhere. Government of India in 2017 gave a jhatka that of 2030 deadline, and everybody was running, scampering. But then, ironically, the rest of the world took a leaf out of it. You look at UK, you look at California, you look at Japan, you look at Germany. They have all issued their deadlines. This year, only EV, brand new vehicles. In fact, India backtracked. But the entire world took a leaf out of it. So EV revolution is inevitable. Hydrogen fuel cell also might come, but it will be probably one step later because the entire ecosystem is moving towards one direction of EV. So the faster we adopt it, it's better. It might be like the Gurgaon 30 years back, as simple as that, from a business opportunity. So switching gears again and coming to Rajesh, so Rajesh, you have the IC and the EV being serviced in the same workshops. You have one electric offering, the ZS, rest all are IC. So one is pure play EV, I'm only EV. The other is hybrid, both. So what are the challenges of having both the products being serviced in the same workshop?
When we started, actually, if you refer my previous presentation or keynote, we all sit together on that, what kind of things may be required. So I do not see a big challenge in servicing EV in the same workshop where ICE engines are serviced. But yes, like the way there have been anxiety There are very much of anxiety, and we know that this particular type of vehicle has to be treated with care. Uh, the onus is on us that the safety of the technician, the safety of the person who's working and touching this car, he has to be trained. And our first focus have been, before we launched it, we gone phase by phase. We gone with 30 locations, then we kept expanding cities, and the next lot of expansion is due in next month. You see that expanding some more cities. So we are going with the skill set available, quality of people whom we can train to reach to level, and kind of cordoning off in that area where when the EV come in the workshop, if it is to be serviced, these are the signages, these are the cornering, these are the person, the uniform is different, people can visualize that, the person who's touching the car.
Is it green in color, the uniform?
Yeah, yeah.
I guessed it.
So I think we looked at what could be the most visual way to give that kind of confidence to the dealer and the customer that their car is protected and the care has been taken. Coming back, I think, so I do not see that challenge. The positive side of it is, from the same way you turn around more cars. So it's not that always that you have to look at revenue is one parameter or barometer, that how much I'm doing good. End of it, profit, that how much is my input cost, technician time, bay utilization time, versus how much I'm churning out. So I think that's also an important aspect of it.
So I believe is the bay dedicated for the EV or no?
There is a one bay minimum is dedicated whichever market we have expanded. And in case we allow any dealer to do it, obviously those particular care has to be taken.
Cordoned off.
Yes.
So do the DPs complain that I'm not getting bay productivity?
No. See, it's not that, that bay will remain empty. Right now we are running with almost 75% kind of appointments. So the day planning is much more structured. So I think it's more of, if the bay is empty, you take other car, not a problem. But the EV come, it goes in that bay as much as possible. That's the kind of guideline we follow.
So switching the products, EV and ICE, on the same bay, so what are the changes to be done to the bay, and what can be at times, the things which can get missed out?
No, nothing. I think it's special tools, hand tools which are insulated. And the trolley is also in different color. The tools are one set which is there. It's only the wheels and trolley which move to the next bay around, and this bay comes over here. That's the only thing, nothing much.
So you have the systems and SOPs in place to ensure that switching happens seamlessly and there are no safety or health issues around
it. Absolutely. No, so rather, as a matter of practice, this is one of the check items the field person do. Whenever they do a random visit or scheduled visit, must check what's happening there, because that's random check is important to keep that kind of discipline in place.
Okay. So this is also to ensure the bay productivity and the earnings are consistent for the dealer, otherwise they'll start complaining.
Absolutely. Anuj, when we make a business case, it's not for a year. You look at how you are going to change gear between ICE to EV, and we know that what kind of products are going to come in future year, and you shortly see something coming in also, which has been talked about. So with that, we know that how many bays would be required with the combination of ICE and EV and optimization of the space. So we work with that.
Okay, fair enough. So switching gears on that, so no, just with you only.
Yeah.
You have been winning CSI consistently. Yeah. So when it comes to the IC customer and an EV customer, how do their priorities and behaviors or demands differ?
Interesting. Actually, these are more, I would say, little bit of younger generation to start up, but the adaptability is moving towards olders also as we move. We have been talking about the kind of profile. So normally, anytime you launch a product, you look at who's going to be your customer. You plan A, but probably you will end up A alpha, A beta kind of thing. So that's important to moderate your strategy on the ongoing basis. Second is, these are the ones who are looking at something exciting in the car. They are looking at some kind of things where on-the-go things can happen. Future is going to be more on subscription of services and offering. So we see a behavioral change from the consumer side. And I would say they are also evolving that what to expect from this. So that's where we are keep moderating in terms of, we are looking towards, as we go forward, what kind of services and offering the consumer will prefer to have. And we are preparing towards it. It's difficult to talk about it in this forum right now.
Do you feel that the EV customers are a more satisfied lot because of less possible issues in the product? Can one draw this conclusion?
No, end of
Nothing
it,
like that, huh?
end of it is basically expectation versus delivery.
Okay.
So
okay.
whether it's EV or ICE, it's expectation versus delivery. So what you look at, what they aspire for, and how much of it you can fulfill it. So I do not see a big difference, but their aspiration level, that has to be tagged separately to see that you are there or not.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, sure.
Just adding to that, like you mentioned, even if you do a great service, right, it's not necessary that the customer will be still happy.
True.
Right? Because like he said, what's the experience at the workshop, right? Whether he was asked for a coffee or not, right? Whether he was actually given a space to sit or not, right? And the way I'm talking to you is these things are getting, then the customers have started understanding these things. Let's not...
The finer nuances, the soft skills.
And thanks to all the startups, I would say that. I will not call myself a startup anymore because we was there.
You can be called a giant startup.
But the e-commerce world has changed all that, right? So one thing is for sure, look, customer experience can be bought, but for short term. You will give freebies, you will give free refunds, free discounts, goodwills. All that stuff can happen for short term, but not for long term. Long term will be always what he's experiencing and how are you changing the perception.
Absolutely. So with that, getting Ketan in the discussion, so Ketan has been listening. So you are the privileged one, Ketan. You've got inputs from everybody, and you can have your last word now, all right? So when it comes to paint, when it comes to services, surfaces, panels, so what difference you envisage, EV or ICE, or there is no difference? And what do you think can be a special, unique offering for EV from your side?
So thank you, Anuj. And since this is the last word, all this while, throughout the day, we've been, very focused on service. We've been focused on spares. We've been focused on, technology. It's very good, but body shop is a very critical, essential part of overall operations. Contributes nearly 35-40% of the revenue. And this will never stop with EV. This will continue. So the paint manufacturer, we at Nippon Paint, we have taken various initiatives. We are planning to go more green, have less VOC eminent paints. We are also looking at how to optimize the overall productivity from a paint shop, how I can reduce my baking cycle so that more number of vehicle could be churned out from the same spray booths.
You work on the TAT for that.
Absolutely. So because EV also gives an opportunity to various paint manufacturers as well as OEMs and various DPs who are situated, because painting is something going to happen. EV, the driving experience is more pleasurer. Indian bounds, Indian driving habits will end up unfortunate events, and it will require, painting and denting. And this will continue. So while the paint industry is very much positive and really thought of going into the space by going more greener as far as product is concerned, and Nippon Paint is definitely up there. We are welcoming this move and we are really up for it.
So I think that can probably lead to RIP engine decarbonizing. I think we earn a lot through that. So yeah, Rajesh, please.
Just to add, I think we have been talking a lot of anxiety and things. So when we, just to take little time back, when we were launching EV, we were thinking what to do. Should we build up a volume, then the infra, we wait for government infra to come up and so on and so forth. I think the biggest thing which we did, and we take, I'm proudly say that as an organization, we take a right step. Let's not wait for things to happen, make it happen. So what kind of charging things we can provide at home, installation, and so on and so forth. But one of the other things which we are doing now is building up, picking up all the satellite, all the touristy places, where all the customer can go. Unlike two-wheeler, we were just chatting during the tea time, where the range anxiety is limited to 100 kilometers. But car owners will still try to attempt to go to certain places.
Stretch.
So we put those chargers. We looked at wherever our dealer points are there. They are not equipped to sell cars, but we still install a charger
Charges
on
there.
the way.
Wow, fantastic.
And the other thing which we taken as a mission, we right now as 150 number right now, is 1,000 charger in 1,000 days.
Yes.
I think
MG
we
charge.
announced it, which is on the residential complexes.
1,000 charges in residential in 1,000 days.
1,000 days.
Right.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah.
In fact, I think even the punchline of the ZS EV is in line. It is change what you can, if I'm not wrong. So it's very much in line with the brand philosophy, product philosophy, team's philosophy. So everything aligned and then magic can happen. So I think it's time for a quick summary of 15 seconds per speaker because it's time up. But hey, before we do that, I think Ketan, what you just mentioned, that possibly if the service revenue goes down in the case of EV, because we are used to PM, GR, BP, these kind of things. So PM, GR, so what is left is BP. So possibly paint and BP can be that knight in shining armor or the savior of the service absorption ratio, perhaps, wherever it can stick to. So with that, I think let's do a quick summary of 15 seconds per speaker and quickly then we wrap up. Right, sir?
As far as the government is concerned, so it is always extending their support to maintain the vehicle, which is given at the PDI level throughout the life. Even it is paint or service dealership. So let our vehicles remain in the PDI condition for whole of its life.
I think on the wrap-up, just wanted to highlight that we are working with a number of different institutions in terms of building capacity for training on the service side, charging operator, handling charging stations for these kind of various job roles. And we will be quite happy to collaborate with your requirements of trained manpower or upskilling of existing manpower. We're doing a lot of programs with many OEMs in terms of high voltage safety awareness programs. We've done recently programs with Tata Motors, Bajaj Auto, etc. So some of these can be very useful because there is an overall skill awareness that we need to build, especially in terms of safety, as Rajesh ji was mentioning about the bay, having special tools and special protection against safety, which is very important. And finally, I just want to say that on the bus side, we've initiated a very interesting program around EV-related fire safety training for the bus drivers and the bus conductors, because should something unfortunate happen, they are the one who will act as the first responder. And there are many lives which are at stake. And therefore, this is a very important program from our end. So that's all I wanted to comment.
That's a very important point which Mr. Lahiri has raised. In fact, I will tell you, the genesis of Jaldi EV was precisely this, safety in EV. It was last year when my co-founder, who's also my college buddy, we were just chatting and then, successively those news came of the battery fires. One octogenarian lost his life and then some children lost their lives and this, two parents lost their lives, leaving their children. It was really agonizing. It was agonizing. We said, either we can just talk about it on social media and forget, or we can do something really worthwhile. Hence, Jaldi EV was born. We went out to the VAF community, all the experts like you, that suggest the good EV, quality EV models. We will only promote quality EV only. We only sell 3 brands on Jaldi EV, but we have ensured their quality. In fact, there was a 5th brand also, I will not name that brand, one of the top selling brands of India. There were issues. They were not giving convincing answers. We took them off our platform. It's one of the highest selling company. They might say, "Tum to choose ho, kal paida hoye ho, tum hame nikaloge." Because that's the genesis. The very reason why Jaldi EV was born. So we should not let any incident happen again, especially at the bays or the workshops. One thing off here and there happens, suddenly people will have that anxiety, that fear, that phobia. So whatever we can do through training, through skilling, through constant reiteration, let's do it as an industry. It's very important. Yeah. Gurinder?
I'll just add, a quick one. EVs are here to stay. So let's look at the complete customer life cycle and not just in silos like sales and service, because that's how, the world will move into. So it's a complete customer life cycle right from he enters the showroom till the time he buys the next, vehicle. It has to be looked from that journey. That journey has to be taken care of. If you take care of that, I think you should be okay.
You just mentioned your KRA, ownership management head. Okay, Ketan?
So you said, very pressing point. Very honestly, Nippon Paint has been in the forefront of EV. We have been very fortunate that we've been working very closely with OEs who have been in forefront of EV, be it passenger vehicle or commercial vehicles. And that has really helped our learning over the past 2 years. So not only we have used those learning in making paints which are more environmental friendly, but also ensuring guidelines at the shop floor, the anti-statics tooth, earthing for the equipments. So there are various basic SOPs that Nippon Paint has issued to the workshops, to the OEs through whom they are working. We are working with them very closely because this is a new bubble and we really need to ensure safety and longevity with this particular thing.
Yes.
So that's where, this learning has helped us over the last 2 years.
Spot on.
And, yeah.
Spot on.
Thank you.
Rajesh?
I think all covered, but two things doesn't change, whether ICE or EV, is infra and manpower. So that's what we are working on in terms of how to get the right resource. 10, 15 years back, wherever we were, we started those, whichever company, college tie-ups and so on and so forth. So I'm proud to say we already have some 6 college tie-up focused on EV technician training.
Beautiful,
And,
fantastic.
and it's not just EV manpower, I would say. So you can have the resources coming for your own absorption or dealer absorption. And we are targeting to multiply big number, as you see, and you'll hear the news soon.
That's fantastic. I think that's amazing. So thanks a ton, friends. Thanks a ton, gentlemen. So it's a wrap on the final panel for IVASS. So Anita ma'am, all yours.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. And now, to felicitate our speakers once more, I'd like to invite a representative from Haas Group, from Focus Group, Motor India, and Hyundai. Mr. Ketan Girap, Business Director, Key Accounts, Nippon. Loud round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Rajesh Mehrotra. Mr. Gurinder Sukhija. Mr. Arindam Lahiri. Mr. Anil Chhikara. Loud round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost at the end of our program today.